Winner bracket final, the Bounty Hunters against Team Copium. Another best of 5 series at the Murky Cup, and we are kicking things off on Cursed Hollow. It's honestly kind of funny to me that both of these teams, the way that they made it into the winner bracket final, it's wild. It really is. This all came together with both of them falling behind in the winner bracket semifinals and then starting a comeback and winning the series just barely on the final map. So, pretty impressive. Well, to be fair, I guess when we're talking about barely winning it is not quite touching on what Team Copium did. They actually ended the fastest. It was the fastest map. Their 5th map was the fastest map that was so far played in the tournament. They won it under 10 minutes on Tomb of the Spider Queen against Shogal, with Artanis, which was pretty impressive to begin with. Now, again, our draft rule, as usual, is every single hero that gets played cannot be played again in the same series. So if we're heading into game 4 and 5, there will be a lot of heroes that are out of the potential pick order. But for now, everything is still totally fine. So they can just dip into the hero pools as much as they want. Chromie gets banned. Nano, the real Nano, is playing for Team Copium. So the ban on Chromie makes perfect sense right now. But I'm already a bit curious if maybe at some point the Bounty Hunters decide to finally get some bounties. These are two of the teams that are the most stingy when it comes to their bounty attempts that we have in the playoffs. We have Team Copium with 0 bounty points. They haven't even attempted a bounty. And the Bounty Hunters have only tried 2 bounties so far in the entirety of the cup. Which is just false advertisement. When they formed the team, I was getting mega excited. Whoopi is back, Breeze is back, and they call themselves the Bounty Hunters. They're gonna farm things, they're gonna scrim, and they're gonna get all the crazy picks. And then they start all of this up, and they're just like, you know what? Bounties? Nah, not interested. So, is that gonna change? It might. But since this is the winner bracket final and both of the teams would love to move on to the grand final right away without having to take a detour to the losers bracket, I guess at least initially we're not going to get any bounty attempts. Cursed Hollow, we now have Dehaka plus Nubarak, Sylvanas to follow up on that. And especially with Sylvanas plus Nubarak, you already have a lot that can pressure for structures. I mean, right from the get-go. So you have very nice tools that can, with either Beetles soaking up tower shots or Sylvanas disabling the towers, straight up push for structures. We might see that now from them also with some added other heroes that can help them to break them down even quicker. Greymane. Don't think we're going to see him in game number 1, but still. And we get Anduin banned out. So, by now, on the side of Team Copium, I'm actually not quite sure we're going to get it from them. Nano is mostly the X factor for the team. Nano and Lopaka are both that can deviate very easily into other heroes and really round out a draft for them. Masquerade on the front. Not sure if they're going to target him here. I think eventually, if we're making it to, let's say, Towers of Doom, for example, his at least his Stitch is going to get banned out. But in game number 1, you still have all the options. They ban out Johanna, so they are going to try to at least take her away from him. Maybe also save her for later for themselves. They're pretty happy with the Nubarak for Breeze, I would assume. But what are we getting from Masquerade? Muradin. They get both of the Beard Boys. So, we get the Flying Dwarf and we get the Budget Gimli. Budget Gimli and Air Muradin are now being played. Stormbolt into jet propulsion, for example, is something that they can easily do here. And on the other side, over on the left, what are we going to get from Hazu on from Rutsu? Hanzo and Lucio. Okay, so with Lucio can now also speed the team pretty quickly between the lanes. Also, it's quite nice to use him as a bit of a scouting tool, especially when you expect that bosses are being taken on the other side. And with Hanzo and Sylvanas, can unleash a couple of arrows here. That brings us to Nano, and we get Genji, ladies and gentlemen. Cursed Hollow, the first map in the best of 5 series here in the winner bracket final. Game number 1, the Bounty Hunters on the left side in blue with Dainu on Sylvanas, Whoopi on Dehaka. We got Hazops on Hanzo, We got Breeze on a Nuburak, and Rutsu is playing Lucio. Over on the right side, we got Team Copium after their recent victory in the winner bracket semi-final. Now with Banana H on Brightwing. We have Nano on Genji, Lopaka playing Falstad for the team, Masquerade on Muradin, and Sadath is playing Blaze. Lots of stuns, lots of CC. Brightwing, of course, helping out with that too. And the team is now, the blue team is now rolling down the bot lane in the hopes of getting one tower fully destroyed. And actually, they're going to get a lot here. The red team is mainly oriented towards the middle and the top lane. So this should be a decent amount of damage that they can do here. And they nearly get the entire thing. They also get Brightwing, stun into Tong, and that is first blood right there. Yeah, that's about as good as it gets in the first 30 seconds of the game. You essentially destroy a tower, and you take down your opponent's support. So, yeah, that's pretty decent. That's a great start. The Bounty Hunters with a good lead. First blood. And now splitting onto the lanes and starting to make their moves there. So Whoopi, for example, is now sitting at the top lane, dealing with Blaze. Sylvanas is also getting ready for the first camp. Wants to take this one quickly. Shouldn't really be an issue. I guess Genji might try and hover in the area and see if he can go for a sneaky kill. Which I honestly think is not gonna happen. But, I mean, he can try. So, yeah. Can definitely attempt to pull something off, but for now what we're getting is just Muradin saying hello. So it's actually Masquerade that is currently jumping around this a little bit, and Genji has rotated towards the top lane instead, as we now have the first camp about to be claimed. Blaze is doing the same thing on the right side, so both of them have gone for their Bruiser camp, and Dehaka still rotating around here. We'll be just like dealing with Nano for now, trying to do a bit with vision, but that's essentially it. So, with Sylvanas at the bottom of the map, again in play, with only Brightwing here, they could push that wall further, but of course the rotation is now slowly coming. And Masquerade is also trying to shut Rutsu down a bit on Lucio. So, they're starting to push all of this back. The little gank attempt in the mid lane, not really working out against Sadath, but they also have to take down that mercenary camp. So that's what they're busying themselves with. Breeze goes for Bed of Barbs with a Nuburak, has his level 4 talent choice. And we get a Sledgehammer for Muradin. Down at the bottom of the map, Hazu was a little bit under pressure, but is also chunking down Brightwing fairly quickly. It's a pretty fluid game, honestly. They're jumping between the lanes the entire time, and especially, of course, the Lucio team is trying to leverage his speed a bit. Dainu also getting interrupted here for just a moment. I honestly... If they had for a moment a chance to really go and drop the entire wall, and they missed out on it a little bit. Obviously we see the entire map and they don't, but they had that time window. They are still getting the tower and also the gate, so the wall is destroyed after all. But they also have to now think about dropping towards the top slowly, so that they can start contesting the first tribute that is spawning in the game. Get themselves even more of a head start here. It's just Dehaka, Whoopi against Nano. There's not a lot that's going to happen here. Masquerade is just getting the spray game out. Hazu, Rutsu are also still rotating over, and yep, Whoopi at the top has to top the fountain. They're all prepping up for the first tribute. It's going to be... the first game it's a little bit more of a calm and collected one, I would say. Nobody has made any crazy moves yet. That kill earlier was nice, and the continuous pressure on the lanes is also definitely something that works in favor of the Bounty Hunters, with them running Sylvanas here. But when it comes to team fights, we haven't seen too much action on this yet. The red team is slowly starting to commit a lot more heavily towards the tribute, and they could also fly up with Falstad to get a numbers advantage. But Blaze is maybe a bit in trouble here. Gets body blocked and stunned out for multiple cases, and yeah, Hanzo wasn't able to connect the shot, but that could have been another kill for the blue team. But they have Hazorp's channeling now, and I don't think... No, Interruptors there. They get it with Genji. Falstad is still down at the bottom of the map. Now Whoopi gets attacked, tries to make it out, but gets murdered by Genji. That's a kill for Team Copium. Sylvanas is about to arrive, comes in and tries to damage Genji. That backfired a bit on her. Would have been much nicer. Oh, Falstad. Yep, that's another kill. Falstad comes in, they get Genji into the action, and they drop Sylvanas together. That's 2 kills now from Team Copium. And the first tribute. Breeze was thinking and hoping that he could maybe get close enough to get an interrupt, but not happening. So now we have 2 kills to 1 and the first tribute for the red team. So, not too bad. They are starting to bring this back a little bit. Objective gets claimed. And always then the next question of how much they can follow up on this with the next one. We have a couple of camps still to be taken. And turns on the damage output here. We have now Genji with 13,000, Hanzo with 13,000. Those Shimadas are reigning supreme. Obviously Sylvana's not really dipping too deep into the hero damage yet. Has been busy at the bottom of the map mostly dealing with Falstad and trying to push that lane down. Bosses are up. I talked earlier about how Rutsu is going to be used for scouting also a lot, and that's exactly the case there. Little bit of extra damage from Hanzo, completing the quest 2, hitting Banana H there. We have Muradin also roaming, getting another Stormbolt connected. And Breeze was hoping that he would continue that path so that he can connect the stun, but Muradin is already jumping out. So everybody is attempting to anticipate the movements of the opponent and trying to get more kills in. Level 10 abilities kick in just a little bit sooner for Team Copium. And we get now a Blink heal. Distributors down at the bottom of the map. Shouldn't be any surprises on the talents, honestly. We get Wailing Arrow over Mind Control. It's, I think, the only one where you really have to think, okay, what are we going to get here? We have seen both of the talents picked pretty reliably. But Wailing Arrow, yeah, if you go for the big team fight, and you shut with a nice silence your opponent's team down, maybe even after Hanzo already executed an arrow play and stunned out 2 or 3. So that guarantees you a good connect with Sylvanas. That's essentially all that you need there. But the second tribute for Team Copium should just be a formality. I mean, this position is way better for them. They get the channel. The interrupt attempt from Dino was just a bit too late, so now they have 2 tributes to 0, which is immediately puts pressure onto the bounty hunters. They are now in a situation where the next tribute, whenever it's going to be fought over, could be what becomes a problem for them. Yeah. So we'll actually see what they can do around tribute number 3, because now the team has to actually essentially pick up 3 in a row if they want to prevent the curse from happening. Bosses are still up there as well. We have Wailing Arrow out, and then the Gust Bomb falls that. But Hanzo follows that up with an arrow. They are just not able to get enough damage in on Muradin in time to drop him, but that was dangerous for Masquerade. It really was. His trade kicks now in, and we have him also tapping the fountain. This could have been a kill. This was a nice attempt. Down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Sadath still also sitting tight on this, pushing the waves out a little bit. Only 3 kills so far in the game. Next tribute is spawning at the top. Dehaka, unless Falstad flies in, Dehaka is going to get it for free. Yeah, Dehaka is going to get this without even having to try. So Whoopi is now channeling this. And the red team just gave this one up. They were like, yeah, whatever, take it. Do whatever you want with it. It's going to be fine. We make a play for the boss here. Red team, none the wiser for now. And this one is going to get picked up fast. And Team Copium is not making a play for their own boss yet. They're slowly moving over. But the red team could try and interrupt this. They definitely could. Because their boss is already taken. If they wanted, they could now move towards the top. Or, of course, enhance the push at the bottom of the map. And it seems like the latter is what they're aiming to do. They have Dehaka just moving onto the lane and dealing with the minion wave. They got level 13 and instantly the play for the fort here. And with Siege Giants still up for grabs, this is actually another move that they're making. Trying to take them quickly before the red team can react, but they're already moving in. They only had Dino here at the beginning, so yeah, they are able to claim it, but that was still a bit clutch. Falstad was already in. They were still missing Muradin, or he could have tried to jump in and see what's what. But the fort at the bottom of the map has already been eliminated. Top side, we have this one pushing, and it's a curse against the blue team. It's a freebie channel on the tribute for Brightwing and Genji, and now it's curse time. So you have to deal with the boss at the top. Blue team also with a 3-2-3 movement. They quickly pause the game here, and we'll see if they have some issues on the team, some disconnects or whatnot. But for now, it is definitely the top lane that they gotta deal with. You won't be able to prevent the fort from falling anymore. This one is going to be taken out. Boss pushing in is gonna hurt. At the same time, we're having in the middle of the map still some units of the Bruiser camp coming in. We have the next minion wave also moving through. So this is a situation where if the team actually just sits tight, they can defend this. But that would also mean they're giving up more ground at the top lane. The only lane that they don't have to bother with too much is the bottom of the map, of course. That one is fully pushed out. The only thing that the curse essentially signifies here is that Team Copium is going to have a much easier defense and the bounty hunters are not going to get as much value. Lopaka with Falstad can take the entire wave out with essentially one single shot and the boss is going to be defeated quickly. So we will see a bit more momentum on the side of Team Copium with the curse now. So, or at least we should. Top side fort, as I said, that one's gone. Blue team is also trying to maintain vision so that they can't get flanked hard by Masquerade, for example, who's already nibbling around the edges. He went in the Bronze Beard range on 13. Falstad still pushing the waves out at the bottom of the map. And Wooby is dealing with the middle as best as he can and is trying to defend this. So it's mostly about the top side, but not a lot of value from the curse just yet. I mean, there's another 20 seconds on the clock. So they have to try and do something with it, and it seems to be the bottom of the map where they're going to get the most value from here on out. At least I don't see the blue team making any plays to try and defend here. Arrow connecting with Blaze, long distance, forcing the bunker from Serdath. Falstad flies in and dies. The fly and die. A tactic as old as the first Falstad game. Thought that he had a great chance here to maybe get a gust going. They saw that coming from a mile away, just turn on him and he's gone. Insta-kill. Falstad gets blown up, and, well, that is not an amazing objective. As far as curses go, that one is pretty meh. They got one fort out of this, and there was a boss on that lane already. So you can actually argue that that would have fallen one way or another. But as is right now, this is a bit of an awkward one. Because currently, yeah, they destroyed one fort and that is basically it. For the blue team, that's nice. Now there is no additional tributes on the other side. And they got actually a shot of maybe getting their own curse. And yeah, then returning the favor. Take a couple of forts out. So if that's going to be a thing, we'll see. For now, they're still doing well, going from one camp to another and just having the global in action all the way up at the top. So yeah, currently that's exactly what we're getting from Movie here. Pushes that out as best as he can. And yeah, things are actually looking pretty okay for the blue team. It could have been bad. It could have been really bad. I mean, if they lose all of their forts, for example, then they're falling quickly behind. But as is, we still have both of the teams on level 16 talents. And yeah. Time to party and see what the blue team can pull off here. Okay, so Falstad has rotated towards the top lane now. They're still pushing in the middle. 2 kills to 2. Next tribute down at the bottom of the map. And we have 20,000 damage for Genji and 27,000 damage for Hanzo. Alright, so with that, maybe a shot here. Can they go for Masquerade? Bunker is out. They're trying to escape, but in comes the Haka and gets stopped by a Storm Bolt straight to the face. Oh, Hanzo. Yeah, Lopaka wanted to get the hit there, but they get the drag on Blaze, and this time he might actually fall. The gust prevents it for now. Hanzo is gone, but a lot of the guys on the red team are also low. But it seems like they're able to get away again. Copium, I gotta say, some of these escapes are absolutely stellar. I did not think they had a chance of saving Blaze as he was again cornered. But then the gust saved the day for them and also led them to another kill. Tribute still gets taken by the blue team though. So now we got the bounty hunters with 2 tributes to 0 and the chance to go for a curse. Whereas Team Copium, fighting tooth and nail to get control of the game again, as they did previously. The Haka is up at the top. Yeah, the Haka is actually, I mean, siege damage on the Haka and Sylvanas is roughly the same for now. Wooby with some pretty sweet moves throughout the game already. Hanzo with 35,000 damage now. Nah, the position for the curse is obviously ideal. perfect position here. Great curse position for the bounty hunters. Much closer to their own forts and fountains. And the red team is reacting to it by immediately attacking and trying to aim for position to create a little bit of space here. Let's see if that works out for them. But it is going to be difficult. It's going to be a tricky one. So right now, what are we gonna... yeah, I don't think they can... I honestly don't think they can win this. If they take the team fight here somehow and are able to claim a kill or two, then yes, maybe. But outside of that scenario, I just don't see a world in which they're taking that tribute. They have to really fight for this, and it's going to be difficult. The longer this lasts, the easier for the blue team to simply fall back, get a fountain tap, and then re-engage. And the red team just doesn't have that option. So Sylvanas is now dealing with the pressure in the middle of the map and then can easily just move over and help out. But there's the channel from Hanzo. Genji is trying to interrupt. Has to be mega careful that he doesn't get stunned out here. That could be the end of him. And this is the curse. So, time to return the favor. The bounty hunter with their first objective. Immediately make a play for the boss. And then we'll see how much damage they can do on those lanes. Specifically at that bot lane, that keep is gonna eat a ton of damage. This keep should fall. They're very likely gonna attempt to make plays on other lanes now too, but this should be the keep in the bottom lane that falls. Boss also taken up at the top, but the fort here will likely fall now as well. In the middle, you already have a fort destroyed by the team rotating in, and now they're just making the move down to the bottom of the map to ensure that this one really gets destroyed. I don't think that they ever had to doubt that, but yeah, this is going to hit hard. 19.5 on experience. So, middle of the map, that's where the wall also loses hit points, so a chance to maybe even get some damage in on the second keep after this one's gone. Or if you get kills, you can of course go for the core. But red team trying to defend the best as they can. Keep is gone. That was always hopeless. In the middle, wall gone, and they can go for the keep here, but they want to go for the core, and they can't kill Genji. They got close for a second, but Falstad created some space with the gust. And still no kill. They're going for Dehaka. In comes the big stun from Anubura. Can they follow up? And they can. Brightwing is gone, but so is Lucio. They cocoon Genji. Could kill him now. But Nano is getting away. What about Blaze? He gets dragged again by Whoopi. It's Muradin. And he doesn't make it. Muradin is gone. And they're still doing a little bit of damage here, but they're not able to take out the core. Or the keep in the middle, for that matter. And to make matters worse, this boss is still doing damage at the core. And it went through the keep at the top lane. So... that attack with boss and curse did a lot less than you would have expected. Well, it did a lot, obviously. The problem is that the opponent got the same thing for free. All they had to do was take the boss at the top lane, and then it got them a keep as well. So it is fairly even now. Each team has lost the keep. The only difference really is that we still have 2 forts for the bounty hunters. Which is a pretty decent advantage, don't get me wrong. But both teams now have a corridor straight to the core, where after a team victory, depending on where it happens, they could go and just try and end the game. So, yeah. But now we have the chance for them to maybe take a few of those forts out as well. At least Team Copium is going to try and make that work. So... let's see who's gonna go for the next aggression here. We got in the middle, yeah, the next camp taken. 1 tribute up at the top. I don't think we're gonna get... we might not even get another curse, honestly. I mean, this is tribute number 1 for each one of the teams. We had 2 curses already, 2 objectives. So, are they really able to lock another one in? That's 3 tributes. Always assuming that nobody else takes one. I don't think that's really realistic. But, yeah, we'll see. Maybe somebody's able to lock it in after all. For now, they're focusing on kills again, and they're trying to go for Blaze, but he had the bunker cooldown still up, so he's able to get out. But the aggression is still there, and you have to be... they keep them on their toes. You have to be careful here. Or you're gonna get locked in and then obliterated. And Blaze dropping the bunker, that's another cooldown that lasts for another 60 seconds, so there's that. Damage output, we get now 35,000 for Genji, compared to the 55,000 for Hanzo. Sylvanas on 36k. Next tribute is going to spawn down at the bottom of the map, and the blue team is already present here. So once again, the play for Masquerade. Damn! They are crushing him. There's the arrow from Hanzo, but it's gonna be Lucio that falls first. The X-Strike eliminates him. Nicely done. So, after Murding gets targeted, they jump on Lucio and they drop him. Now the healer is gone. That means free tribute for Team Copium. Or it should be. And a free defense on the lanes. Because after the curse, the bounty hunters have controlled most of the map. The lanes were pushed out against Team Copium. Now there's a chance to bring this back a little bit and take a bit more control over the map and therefore also get more vision. The Tribute, on the other hand, they might actually try and stall this out for a bit longer. We'll see. Oh, it's a trap. But nobody has jumped in on it. Nobody fell for that here. So the Tribute isn't detaken, so it's one on each side. They go again. Oh, the drag! They are getting some very nice connects, but it just doesn't seem like they're getting kills out of them. Instead, it's always a play against them afterwards. So they initiate the play, and then it's Inubarak that dies, and now they lost Dehaka. So Inubarak and Dehaka are both gone. The fort gets instantly taken, and the only question is what are they going to do with it. They're going for a boss at the bot lane. They could go for a double boss play, of course. They could go for the Tribute here, for the keep, for maybe the fort in the middle. But the pattern that we've seen in the last couple of fights was always the same. Bounty Hunters come in, start a play, try and go for a kill. The hero on the red team survives, and they turn it then and kill Lucio, kill Inubarak, whoever else. So that pattern has become a problem for them. And yeah. Here they go for the keep. Oh boy, that boss is going to wreck that keep for sure. And if they get the kill, and they might, and they do, then this could be the end of the game. There's only 2 defenders now. Yes, Inubarak and Dehaka will be back, but Sylvanas gone for another 50 seconds is absolutely a disaster. So there's a chance to end the game right now for them. By the way, while this plays out, the keep over on the right side is likely going to fall to the catapult. So just saying, if they don't end the game here, they also will lose a keep in the process and maybe even some points on the core. But given how strong that boss still is, it's highly realistic that Team Copium is now going to take the lead in the series. 40% on the core is just looking way too good. They're jumping in on this, and that is an easy W. Team Copium takes the lead in this best of 5 series here at the winner bracket final against the Bounty Hunters. We're heading into the next game in a moment. Before we do, once again, a bit of an appeal from my end, guys. You can support the stream for free right now. We got a campaign currently going on with Opera GX. It is the easiest campaign ever. All you gotta do is you download the browser through the link that you can find in the video description, and you watch the video on the browser. That's essentially it. It's as easy as that. It's going to take you a minute, probably less. There's no insane download involved here. There's no game where you have to play to a certain level or anything of the sorts. It's really as easy as just downloading the browser and then watching the YouTube videos on the browser for a bit. Browser is quite nice, has an integrated VPN, has integrations for Discord, WhatsApp, and a lot of other tools, so it especially targets gamers. But if you just want to support the stream, this is literally all you gotta do. Check out the link in the description, download it quickly, watch the video there, and you're good already. Thanks a lot for the support. Really appreciate everybody that is taking a minute or two to do this real quickly. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Game number 2! We're going to Infernal Shrines as our second map in the winner bracket final. Team Copium has taken the lead. 1-0 after a pretty fierce battle on Infernal Shrines, honestly. It was a nice back and forth the entire time. And now the big question, of course, can they follow that up with the second win and take the big lead here? We get Chromie banned out again. Just ban out Nano as best as you can, that's kind of the idea. I mean, the impact that he had with Genji in the last game was already pretty incredible. So, yeah, they're definitely going to target him with a lot of the bans here. Also, quick reminder, the heroes, all the heroes can only be played once within a series, so all the 10 heroes that you saw on the first map are now unavailable for the rest of this match. And it seems like they're just sticking this out with bans on Chromie and Johanna. They are taking Johanna away for Masquerade as an option. I guess at some point they might let her go through whenever they are willing to take her as a first pick. But here on Infernal Shrines, it doesn't really seem to be the case, so they have apparently other plans. Yeah, let's see what they're gonna get. But solid effort on the last map again by specifically Nano. I mean, some of the kills that he got there and the prep for the team, absolutely solid. A couple of the moves were funny. I mean, we talked a bit about the fly and die from Lopaka as Falster just like went whoop and committed honorable Subaru. So that was a quick one. It was kind of funny. The team saw that immediately and then coordinated around it within half a second. So he just got blown up and it was glorious. Now, Whoopi goes for Urel as a first pick. Dehaga was a bit rough for him on the last one. Missed his ult a few times, connected really nice tongs, but they just were not able to do a whole lot there. It was honestly also a lot on Banana Age. Whenever I talked about this during the game, but whenever the engage happened, initiated by the blue team, Brightwing saved the target, they turned it, killed the hero, sometimes two, and that led to one huge disappointment in the team fights after another for the Bounty Hunters. So yeah, rough going. Leo and Anduin, that's what we're getting here. This is where Dino is starting to bust out Tracer. So we get Malfurion and Tracer. But what are we gonna get now as the main tank? Because on Infernal Shrines I could see Breeze again with Diablo. ETC is up. Another one that he could definitely play here. So two very likely picks for him. And I think if they want to target the front line, one of them is going to be banned out. Ah, well, Garrosh, okay, fair enough. A little bit more worried about Garrosh, and they're banning him out. No Hammer in this game. Yeah. Nano played Hammer in, I believe it was their previous series. So in this case, they're just not willing to deal with Sergeant Hammer. I mean, obviously the Bounty Hunters were in a position where they could watch some of the previous games too. Research oftentimes is quite everything. I mean, most of the teams have been scrimming a bit. Always it depends on who you scrimmed against. Do you know what your opponent is doing? Yes, no. But if not, then just watching the games that they played in the round before, the 2 rounds before, give you normally a pretty decent indication of what you might want to get rid of. So, yeah. But, okay, we got Cassia again. Varian, Leo. Varian with Anduin. It's the reunion. La Familia. Varian can maybe finally teach Anduin what end to hold the sword at. And there's our Diablo pick, as already prognosed. Rutsu with Gul'dan. So we're getting our AoE wave clear. So we've got Tracer for the Nibbles, Gul'dan for the AoE clear, and of course the Horrifiers. Let's not forget about those. And last but not least, Lopaka. Could be a triple frontline for them, considering what they're currently running here. So, Lopaka, the final choice for map number 2, Infernal Shrines. And it is Thrall. There's our triple frontline. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series, Infernal Shrines. Game number 2. So, Team Copium is in the lead. Over on the left side, we got Whoopi on Urel for the blue team. So it's time for the Bounty Hunters to show what they're made of. Hazops on Gul'dan, Rutsu on Malfurion. We got Breeze on Diablo. That should be a blast. And then we got Dainu on Tracer. Over on the right side of the map, we got Banana Age for Team Copium. Playing Anduin. Nano with Thrall and the Trolling Thunder on level 1. We got Lopaka on Cassia. Masquerade on Varian, and Sadath is playing Leoric. Let the games begin. Fell Flame build. Once more, Pursuit of Flame here on level 1. Leo is already just dropping off towards the top lane. Not even bothering with the fight here in the middle. Whoopi at least is saying hello and is like, okay, maybe we can force a fight here. Breeze always with the toxic Diablo skin. I mean, this has been a thing since HGC that whenever he played Diablo, he went for the toxic for the green screen. So, yeah, he is going... Breeze on Diablo is a blast. I mean, the one thing that always stands out is obviously the HGC BlizzCon performance, where Breeze's Diablo faced off against Fan's Tracer, and Breeze just one-shot him multiple times throughout the event, and at some point Fan was just like, yeah, that kid is crazy, we're not doing that again. So it was pretty funny. Breeze, when he is in absolutely top form and on a hero that he loves, he can just destroy anyone that is in his path. So at this point, We have currently down at the bottom of the map the next camp taken, so they're just playing around those. And all the way up at the top, Leoric is currently doing his thing. We're having Whoopi sitting in the middle, down at the bot lane. Again, the rest of the team is just busy getting the neutral camp, but they can still go over to the left side and get theirs there. Now, for the blue team, there's... On the one hand, I really want to say that there's quite a bit on the line, because once that you're 0-2, it's really difficult to bring back a series. Again, if you think about the winner bracket semi-final, they kind of did it there already. So I'm not saying that it's going to be easy for them to pull that off once more. Quite the contrary, but they have shown already that they can win 3 in a row if need be, if they're under pressure. But obviously it would be a much easier way potentially to a potential grand final if they were able to win map number 2. So at this point we just have them with 1 kill to 0, moving through the lane a little bit. With level 4 talents we get taunt obviously for variants, so this is something where especially Tracer needs to be careful. And yeah, over on the right side, off we go. We're gonna get the next camp taken. And obviously in the middle of the map, Breeze still anchoring the place and also getting some experience for the team. But the first objective is now slowly popping up, and that's when we're gonna get some real action on all of this. Teams are both going for the camps now. So that's the next move. Down to the bottom of the map, we have a Masquerade sitting tight, and Nano is moving with the rest of the team towards the top. I don't think anybody is going to grab that level 7 talent in time to really make a difference on the Shrine. But they are getting aggressive around the first few that are entering it. Leo, for example, gets dropped low quickly. Oh, talking about dropping low. Tracer basically annihilated here. Wow. That taunt was on point for Masquerade. Absolutely on point. So that was close. That was nearly Tracer getting killed, and shortly after that we had also Masquerade. A little bit of trouble since Breeze was trying to avenge Tracer, but yeah, I got spicy quickly. And Whoopi actually gave them a level 7. They got it with half a level lead, so they have the talent advantage and they're holding control over the Shrine. With that talent lead, Leo is moving down towards the bottom of the map and Whoopi followed. But apparently Team Copium is okay with giving up the first Punisher. It's a Mortar Punisher, so they are actually letting that one slide. There's a level 7 talent, which gives us the Ancestral Wrath. And off we go. So, not too bad. Whoopi, again, lots of XP through him. And also that level 7 talent at the top, and then with him moving in, the red team just decided finally that it was time to let this one go. So the wall is destroyed super quickly. They had the side wall also opened up so they could follow up on the Punisher stun a bit. Once again the taunt from Varian, and he is threatening Dino whenever he can, but that's a lot of value out of the first objective for the bounty hunters. They're not getting the fort, but they have it down to 50% of its HP now, and that's about as good as it gets on the first objective. Very rarely do you see an objective in Infernal Shrines, or the first one, do more than that. I think we had today one time where the fort was taken out by the first Punisher, which rarely happens. Basically never. But right now we're having still some action of the blue team in the middle. Thrall is on 3 stacks for his level 4 quest, by the way, so that one isn't done yet. We're 5 minutes in. I don't think that Dino is able to get this camp. Nope. And he has to be cautious, because he got targeted multiple times by Varian, as he obviously should be. I mean, Varian's taunt is one of the biggest problems in this game for Tracer. So there's that. But at this point, we got over on the left side, Breeze doing his thing, Rutzo moving through, Hazu sitting tight there as well. They're coming in. Well, okay, Breeze didn't quite make the move. He had level 10 abilities now too. Breeze must have been on cooldown. I honestly expected a charge out of him in an attempted stun. But yeah, not using that. Could have maybe forced that fight with level 10 and followed it up with a Horrify from Gul'dan. But now with level 10 abilities and a small window of opportunity, they can just burn down some of the structures here. The entire thing, the entire wall is already taken out. So yeah, there's that. I mean, at this point, we have the next little attack. But there's level 10 abilities on the red team side. That gives us, on top of everything else, a few more stuns and control tools with the light bomb. And also Sundering, of course. Valkyrie on top of that too. And we'll see how they are going to play that one out. The problem, of course, for Thrall is that he missed his wolf. So he's now, again, reset on the stacks and is back to 0. This is a little bit annoying. I mean, at level 16, you normally want to take Alpha Wolf then, and you really would like to have the synergy with your level 4 talent. It's pretty useful. But, yeah, they want that cooldown reduction and also the mana reduction. So, let's see if Thrall is able to pull that off in time. Now that we also have the objective up at the top, nobody has gone for the camp top right. The shrine is being activated. They still have technically enough time to move in there and take it, and they really should. Because if not, then it's only the blue team that has a shaman camp traveling to the top lane. So, yep, there's the play as they're moving in on it. This one already taken and en route. Half a level advantage still for the blue team. And now the move into the bot lane for shrine number 2. And we'll see who claims it. This time it's a Frozen Punisher. So, it's essentially a guaranteed fort at the bot lane. Unless there's some wild scenario where they're losing 4 heroes, but they somehow are able to still lock the objective in. Which, again, has happened, but if they win the fight and take the objective, that bottom 4 doesn't stand a chance. They might even be able to take the wall out of the keep itself. So, as we're entering into the fight, we now have 9,300 damage for Cassia. That's the top damage for them. Gul'dan is already sitting at 15,000. Red team is getting a bit ahead here. Breeze again with another wall stun. Pulls them straight into the roots of Malfurion, and there's the barbecue and the horrify. They're fully isolating them from the shrine for now. The blue team gets the lead on the shrine minions, and with the help of the Fellflame build from Gul'dan, they're getting closer and closer to a second objective. Anduin gets barely saved, Valkyrie gets dodged, Leo is gone, killed by Tracer, and that is Punisher number 2. The Bounty Hunters with the second Punisher in the game and even a kill against Leoric. So they can push this back even further. Once again, baiting in Varian. Big bait on Varian. Has the light bomb there. Tracer comes in, wants the kill, and together with Gul'dan, they get it. So now Masquerade is dropped as well. He's going to be down for a bit longer. And this is just amazing for Team Bounty Hunters. They're taking down the fort at the bottom of the map. Easy move now too, through the gate potentially, but there's a fort in the middle to be taken. So while the Punisher will still do some damage down at the bottom of the map, the rest of the blue team is now moving to take out the last remaining fort of the red team. And so far, the Bounty Hunters look great here. All the momentum in their hands. They're working every single wall here. The bot wall has more or less been completely destroyed. Only one tower still standing, and not for much longer either. Barely saved by Cassia for the time being, but the next minion wave that arrives there is definitely going to take it out. So, yeah, not a single fort destroyed on the blue team side. A 1.5 level advantage as well for the Bounty Hunters. They're looking okay here. For not a single kill yet for Copium. They have a comp that centers around Varian taunting heroes and then them going in and getting a kill. Following them up with a light bomb, with Sundering, with maybe even Valkyrie, but it's just not working out. Thrall is now 10 minutes into the game, sitting on a single stack on his level 4 talent, which is also not great for them. So, yeah, it's tricky. And obviously, we have now down at the bottom of the map, yeah, the tower finally eliminated. Urel pushed that out. And while the defenders are attempting to deal with this, the push towards the middle is next. The Bounty Hunters again with another tower about to be destroyed, and are going to take down that gate too, which gives them level 16 talent. That's a 2-level advantage. And they are getting aggressive here, and they should. They have a huge talent lead over the opponent's team. And they can poke. They can poke the entire time here. With Gul'dan, Sundering gets used. Valkyrie attempt. Urel jumped into it, but now instead they're making a play with the barbecue for a kill on Leo, who barely gets away. Anduin saves Daddy, so Masquerade, Varian, he's alive. But they are pushing for that keep, and I do not think that Team Copium can save it. It's a slow burn. but they are going with every single new minion wave, more aggression. Now Varian is low, Horrify is used, they come in for Cassia and they drop her. Cassia is taken down, the keep is eliminated, and they're looking for more. They're looking for Thrall. Can they kill him? And the answer is, maybe. Tracer got close, but wasn't able to quite take him on. Anduin saved the day. The keep at the bottom of the map is also taking damage while they're still playing around this. And since they're realizing that it might just not be possible to go for the core yet, they're taking down keep number 2 at the bottom of the map. All of that just with a level 16 talent advantage. We're not looking at 20 yet or anything of the sorts. Now they're coming in for Varian, possibly. Nano in trouble on Thrall. Can they get the kill here? Sundering is out once more. The Valkyrie follow-ups, every time that they're trying it, it's just not connecting for them. It's 4 kills. By the way, it's 4 kills only when you think about it. With 4 kills, they've been able to take out every single fort and 2 of the keeps. Now, it's half a level until Team Copium hits level 16, and I guess we all know what that means. Either the team just full-on YOLOs into the fight and says, okay guys, we gotta go now. Or they don't even try and just let that Punisher be claimed by the Bounty Hunters. And I think that is the likely outcome here. They go for their own camp. Might make it to level 16. I'm honestly, if anything, a little bit disappointed that we're not getting more aggression around the shrine from the Bounty Hunters as long as they have this 16 talent advantage. Now they're on 20 stacks already, but it does still not seem like Team Copium is willing to engage into anything here. They know they're already too late, so yeah, no plays being made by them. 43,000 damage from Gul'dan. And, well, we have now down at the bot lane still the next camp claim. They're trying to take all of them, I suppose. They have 38 stacks out of the 40 that they need for the Punisher, so they're just trying to tee this up properly. And honestly, the longer they can delay this, the better for them just in general. In an unlikely scenario where Team Copium is never forcing their hand, it would end up with them maybe even getting level 20. So, there's that. But right now, yeah, they try to go for Diablo. It's not happening like this. Entomb and Drain are nice, but that's not going to be enough. Taunt is still ready. We got Camps now pushing through the middle. Camps pushing through the top. And Tracer, I suppose, is going to be the one going for the stacks. Yeah, so she locks in the final 2. And now they have the Arcane Punisher pushing through the mid lane. They're getting extra easy damage in against, well, actually, could they get a kill here? Nah. Anduin on the other side is negating the kill, but Tracer's moving in once more. It's blind for just a second, but they haven't given up on the Masquerade kill yet. They still want him. There's the Horrify. Money, baby! Absolute money. The Horrify destroys the red team. They lose way too much here. The top keep, by the way, is going to be attacked in a second. The Punisher is already present, and this is going to be game. Anduin dies now as well, so the series is going to be tied. 7 kills to 0. Perfect game. They didn't lose a single hero. They didn't lose a single fort. They are absolutely crushing it here. Well done. Team Copium goes down in flames on Infernal Shrines as the Bounty Hunters tie the winner bracket final. GG. Game number 3, we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Team Copium going up against the Bounty Hunters, and well, map number 2, easy win. Absolutely easy win for them. So Vala gets banned as we're heading into the second draft. This, by the way, also means that 10 heroes, the 10 that were played on the first map, are at this point not available for picking anymore. So 10 heroes are now out. Just makes things a little bit more interesting. Again, we've been playing that rule for a lot of the tournaments, not for all of them, but most of the tournaments that I myself host and organize run that rule as a basis. Just makes things a bit more interesting. We have a ban on Jojo again. Now, they're still continuing that play. So far, what they've been banning every single game is Chromie plus Johanna. So unless they are now all of a sudden interested in getting themselves a Chromie pick 2, I think it's definitely going to be another Chromie ban. Would be surprised to see anything else. And there she is. Chrome is out. We might never see her in the series. The targeted ban against Nano, who now instead falls straight into Junkrat. So, yep, let's go. Well, we got our double pick over on the side of the Bounty Hunters, and while I would still love to see some kind of attempt to go into, I don't know, maybe a bounty, I still think there's too much on the line right now with this being the winner bracket. So right now we got Zagara and we got Garrosh. Dino on Zagara could be interesting though. I mean, I still expect more, but technically this could be a Nidus bounty. So if all of a sudden with Dino now picking the hero they think they have a chance to play this out with a network, then they could lock in a bounty attempt for the series. So there is a possibility, but we'll see what Dino does. If anybody does, it's going to be Dino, so I suppose that's the good news. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what Zagara does on level 10. Then for Masquerade, we got Stitches and Rhaegar. Once more, lost opportunity to go for a Stitches and Alexstrasza comp. Sometimes I don't even know if Team Copium knows that there are bounties. Maybe nobody told them. Maybe they didn't really check it out, but if they would have replaced Banana H with Alexstrasza, not only would they have been able to stack Stitches even more and end up with like this insane amount of hit points for him, but they would have gone for a bounty too. So Samuro is getting banned out. It means that we... By the way, like I didn't even think about it, but now that we have Breeze on Garrosh, what's the follow-up on that? They could obviously combine that with some kind of Taika stacking game, as we've seen from the Americans. But you at least want to have a stun behind this too. So, let's see. Rexa gets banned. We see him a little bit more right now, which I like, mostly on Dragonshire. But it's something that in the past at least was, for example, played by House of the Lot on Tomb of the Spider Queen 2. Haven't seen it in a while on this map. But again, to be fair, we have seen a lot more Rexa now in the Murky Cup than we had in the previous few tournaments. Now, Medivh. Ooh, yeah, okay, Medivh Garrosh. Yep, that is going to get nasty. Yeah, Medivh, Garrosh, and we get now Tyrande. So there's going to be a little bit of pressure on Rutsu for sure. But they can do a lot of work with this. And once that we have also Medivh with his level 10 and especially at level 20, whenever Stitches gets a Gorge out, there is a chance that Medivh just simply drops a ley line and tries to prevent them from getting too crazy. But I called the Stitches play for Masquerade already. I said if it's not Towers of Doom, it's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is the two maps where he really likes to play Stitches. They go for Chen, and we have Lunara. Sadath on Chen, Lunara for more damage over time, for more slows, dropping all that asset there. That leaves us with Wooby for the side lane as the final pick on the side of the Bounty Hunters in this best of 5 series and for the third game. And, well, what is Wooby going to take? He has to go up against Chen, so he already knows what his counter is going to be. And Wooby is going for Malthael. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Game number 3 in the winner bracket final of the Murky Cup. Game number 3. So, who's taking the lead? Tomb of the Spider Queen is our third map. And now we got Hazu on Medivh. We got, well, Dino on Zagara. We have Breeze on Garrosh. Wooby on Malthael. And Rutsu on Tyrande. Over on the right side of the map, we got, of course, Team Copium with Nano on Junkrat. And the red team with Lopaka on Lunara. Banana H on Rhaegar. Masquerade with Hungry for More on Stitches. With the right talent, but not the right support. And we got Sadath on Chen. Let the games begin. Time to party and see which team pulls ahead in the best of 5 series and gets a step closer to the grand final. Insta-hook success. But if anything, it resulted in Stitches being thrown around a little bit. Yeah, it's good on Garrosh. Garrosh, he is definitely not skipping leg day. Nope, he is absolutely crushing it. If you can throw Stitches around, lift with the knees, my friend. Lift from the knees. So, yeah, Breeze, as usual, just anchoring the place here and preventing essentially the red team from rotating over towards the top. There's a lot of portals already coming out, and this is going to be the real danger. as they get the portal action going, they can start to stack Medivh up, and his portals will empower Garrosh a lot. Now, yeah, we got, for the time being at least, a couple of stacks coming in for Medivh. Dino with Zagara, so that's going to be the more interesting pick throughout all of this, because I want to see what happens on level 10. Normally you would of course go more here, but considering that this is one of the first opportunities that they technically have to go for a bounty, there's a chance that they're actually just locking in Nidus Network and get themselves a potential bounty point. Would be their third. They have two already. I think I mentioned that before. But the bounty hunters finally hunting some bounties. That would be quite something. So, camp's taken. On the right side, we had the mercenary camp locked in quickly. We got 5 stacks already for Stitches. Get those hit points going. And Tyrande just YOLOing out one owl after another straight back to Hogwarts. So by now, a little bit of creep tumor action also, some extra vision, nothing too fancy. We have Whoopi attack down at the bottom of the map. That's basically the only thing that's a little bit on the offside. They are a little bit more squishy than you possibly would expect them here. Okay, hits the owl, and he's gonna survive. Yeah, Chen barely makes it. I mean, that was a close call. For a second, it looked like he might fall to this, but he gets out. So they had to throw all the registers to make sure that they are able to save him. But save him they did, so well done. And of course, with that now we have down at the bottom of the map still the siege giants that the teams can fight over. And Whoopi was actually added there to double check if the red team is maybe making a move. But they're busy in the middle, going for Junkrat, and he is gone. Nano is the first victim in this game, so Junkrat is first blood. And that might even allow them to go for a play at the bot lane. So right there, it's going to be a numbers advantage. Blue team moves in and steals the camp away. Nice. So, camp easily stolen. They get the siege giants. I mean, well done. A little bit ahead in experience. Some nice gems too. They go for Lunara and yeah, they can't get the kill there. But they can definitely get a turn in. Or close to it. They don't have enough gems yet to get a full turn in, but they already delivered 29 gems. Rutzo, yeah, you don't want to turn in right in front of Stitches. That's essentially a self-stun and you asking him to go for hook. Okay, Hazu gets hooked. 14 stacks is what he currently holds, but he's fine. Can turn in. Doesn't hold a lot, but again, 3. Nice creep spread, by the way. Zagara with a pretty decent creep spread here. And now the red team, they will have to make sure that they're taking as many of the creep tumors out as they can. But at least for now, Dino has pretty decent vision and is continuously keeping that up, so good for him. Level 7 talents are already available for them. We still get more critters and rodents and everything out there so that he interrupts Stitches whenever he tried to deliver. But now they have level 7 and they get the first Webweaver wave. Still the aggression against Whoopi, and Whoopi might be in trouble here. They're trying to turn it. The portal is coming, and so is Tyrande, and they're attempting to go for Chen again. But Chen is able to get out, but the web weavers are now coming, and this is the moment where the bounty hunters can try and get some value. The objective, take maybe a few of the structures out, break through a wall or two, and see if they can possibly also take a fort apart. Tyrande has to also really be careful with the positioning. You can't let Stitches hook you if you're Tyrande, you're going to be in trouble. Again, the portal aggression onto Nano, and he's gone. So that's one of your best defenders eliminated. Topside is a problem. It definitely is. A good Medivh player is absolutely devastating. If you have a team that plays well, I mean, you need a team that plays well around portals too. But if you really trust your Medivh player, if everything is coordinated nicely, then for an opponent, this is just absolutely terrifying. That portal can come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're just getting ganked. Your opponent is rotating mega quickly between the lanes too. This is one fort already destroyed, and the game essentially just started. It's the first objective, and they get a topside fort. That's mad value on the first Webweaver wave. That's really mad value. And they have great creep spread too. So Dino has done a crazy good job with the creep spread. And the red team will have to really start focusing on eliminating those creep tumors a little bit. Because if not, then the vision advantage that we are seeing for the bounty hunters is just going to persist throughout the game. And they can't afford that. We got 34 gems still in their hands. Thanks to the 2 kills that we've seen against Team Copium. They also lost some of their gems. That kill against Nano, for example, earlier, that was devastating. He was essentially the side laner until then. So that was a problem. And here comes again the next play. But this time Nano is able to get out. Hazu sitting at 21 stacks for his baseline. And here comes the Nidus. We got a bounty. They go for the bounty attempt. The bounty hunters are finally hunting bounties. I didn't think that I would live to see it, but it is happening. It is absolutely happening this time. So 21 stacks on Medivh's baseline. We now get level 10 on both sides. It gives us the Keck place. It gives us Gorge. So now Masquerade is starting to become more dangerous, which will of course be even more so the case when he hits level 13 and gets the hook extension. But we have a bounty. Again, I'm happy. It's been about time. Like I was actually gonna say, I wasn't quite sure if they would ever try another bounty again in this game, but yep, no, there it is. So, with them trying to utilize the Nidus, we will obviously see Dino already try and do that for extra mana, hit points, just for the general sustain. He has one also now up at the boss, and given the general tendency of Dino to always try to go for the boss, I could totally see him attempt to play at some point a sneaky one, move with the Nidus after showing on the bot lane straight towards the boss and try to claim it quickly. I would not be surprised to see that at all. Stitches with Gorge, so they are now going for Breeze. This is where Medivh's portal is going to be important. But they're already kicking him away here. Leyline is being used. Breeze about... Nah, he's going to die. He's going to die. They're way too isolated. That was nicely done. Hook, Gorge, and then the Keck plays from Chen. A lot of cooldowns burned to get to a position where they can make that move. And that one was solid. Now it should allow them to get their own Web Weaver wave. Zagara sitting at the top now and dealing with the minion wave there, pushing maybe the next one out. And could peer down at the bot lane again, but nope, network is already destroyed. He sniffed that out quickly. But Dino could turn the gems in, but is also running into Nano, who gets attacked pretty much immediately. So yeah, the red Web Weavers, as expected, they're gonna come down next. Damage output, 10,000 for Zagara, 9,000 for Junkrat. And by now, again, the chance to finally repay the blue team and take a fort out, or at least get some damage on them. The wall at the bot lane, for example, is already gone, so this would be a perfect opportunity to try and take the fort itself out. The one problem is that the bounty hunters are about at level 13. Medivh, by the way, with 24 stacks, is not really a whole lot, so needs to be very careful. Yeah, Zagara still getting those hits in. She still has that Nidus network at the top, so after she deals with the spot here, she could technically also drop another Nidus on the map and try and rotate a little bit further. Already entering the top Nidus, but yeah, look at the damage done here. His fort is gone. His fort is gone. Hook extension on Stitches, so he has the extra range now, and the bot side fort is dropped, so this is exactly what Team Copium needed here. And of course now they're trying to get those hooks. With that full range, there's always a chance. So, yeah, not too shabby. That was a nice move back into the game. Can always get a bit dangerous when your opponent is starting to run the show on you on this map. Gets more turn-ins, gets maybe a few kills, takes some gems away from you, which it definitely did. By now, both teams have a chance to go for the turn-in again. To be fair, the bounty hunters have more gems in general. Yeah, they have actually a lot more, like 20 more, a bit more than that. Uh-oh, portal already used, and Chen kicks away Medivh. Yeah, but he still, initially at least gets some play off with a shield, but now Garrosh is dead again. I gotta give it to Team Copium. They know how to play around Stitches. They've now done it multiple times. It's either displacement through Chen, displacement through Junkrat. No matter how many portals you throw out and shields you get in play, it seems that whenever they got their Gorge, it gets mega dangerous. And Masquerade was now able to get the team another kill with that. That's twice now that Breeze has been eliminated. So kudos to Masquerade and the follow-up that we're seeing from Junkrat and from Chen. We have Stitches with the turn-in, so that's now turn-in number 2. And what looked initially like a game where the blue team can really gain lots of momentum is now turning slowly into an advantage for their opponents, for Team Copium. They might be slightly behind in experience, but this is not necessarily going to last very long, because with this push here, they could also take another fort out. So, well, Team Copium with a big opportunity. They could take the lead on this. Yeah, well, but only if they don't lose Stitches and he gets deleted. No chance for the Ancestral. Stitches gets instantly just bopped around here. And, well, that's the tank gone. So, it's going to make that attack with the Web Weavers a lot more difficult to get value out of this. Down at the bottom of the map, Zagara easily taking this one on. No problem for her whatsoever. At the top, they're also defending. Here, they're not going to lose a fort either. So, already we have the Web Weavers taken out. Now, over in the middle of the map, starting to, or in the bot lane, they're starting to take the minions out too. We have at the top still the boss, and I mean, I haven't made a move for this yet, but eventually Dino is going to do it. He can't resist. When Dino sees a boss on the map, at some point he has to make a move for it. And actually it's Breeze that comes in, and as expected previously, Dino will use the Nidus network to come in, but they're realizing that they might not be able to pull that off. There's another taunt, and Tyrande is done. Gorge over taunt. So they get the Web Weavers, but they're also losing Tyrande in the process, and now we have Team Copium following up on that. Trying to go for Garrosh again. This time we have Indomitable being used to make sure that the hook does not connect. That doesn't change the fact that they do not have Tyrande with them right now. So, Indomitable by Breeze. Dodge out on the hook. 29 stacks for Medivh. Yeah, 13 minutes in, and we're not done with that quest yet. If he dies, if there's just one big hook from Masquerade, then oof. It's already tough enough as is. Normally you want to be done here so that you can capitalize more on Medivh's own damage output, which is not too bad. So, are those Web Weavers really going to do anything? Don't really think so. Maybe the bottom fort, but even that might be a stretch. So, right here, mid lane has been defeated. Down at the bottom of the map, okay, good damage. And I guess they're going to get the fort. Yeah, they're going to drop at least one fort. Tyrande's back. Technically, they can continue to fight over this now. Damage, 20,000 for Zagara, 15,000 for Malthael, 17k for Junkrat. And those hooks, they keep coming. Not close enough to get them another Tyrande kill, though. 3 kills to 3. It's game number 3 in the series, and each team wants to be the one to pull ahead on this one. Each team wants to be the one that makes it to the grand final directly. Wooby, inevitable end by him, and they get the turn in. Another wave of Web Weavers. So, 3 in a row is what they're getting here. And they also are playing around the boss. I do not think that they can really get this. They might win a fight here, but yeah, boss is now getting leashed and will then disappear. Nobody is going to take that. But at least it forced the red team towards the top lane to deal with them. But obviously you want some Web Weaver value out of that. So let's see how far they can push this quite literally here. 31 stacks for Stitches, which means that he has 750 extra hit points. In total, 10% extra movement speed right now. Which is not too crazy yet, but well, can work on that. Stun from Tyrande. Connects again. Junker is defending the top lane. They want the fort in the middle, and the Web Weaver is pushing at the bottom of the map straight for the keep. So over here, how much are they going to get? A bit of damage. Is that going to be enough? Can they take the entire thing down? It's a bit doubtful, but there's also Zagara, and she's still firing away as best as she can. The 4-man defense not looking too bad, and the hook comes out once more. But Junkrat is now rotating down to the bottom of the map to ensure that they're not losing the wall either. So yeah, all that the Bounty Hunters got from the objective is they push the lanes back out. They take more control of the map in general. But that's essentially it. Now, yeah, Hazu is rotating away from this. 3 kills, 2-3 now. And down to the bottom of the map, Dino's going for the Siege Giants. Okay, so Siege Giants are going to get claimed. We still have both teams going also for the Bruiser camp. Still Nidus networks all over the place, as Nano's trying to get as much value out of that as he can and use the mobility to jump from one lane to another. We have 33 stacks now for Medivh. Every single battle he gets a few more, but never a whole lot. Now, Zagara has gone into Spell Shield and the Corrosive Saliva. So, Dino is doing what Dino does. He's trying to get the boss here for the team. Seems like nobody is dealing with that right now. The problem is that Dino is really known for this. So, Team Copium will eventually check that out. With Medivh in your hands, you can of course do a lot here. Interrupt on Nano as he's trying to get the channel. Seems like we're going to get a boss attempt against a turn-in. And yep, the Red Weavers are going to be descending, but they're going to be easily able to go for the boss at the top. So each team will have a chance to defend. And they even have to slow them down slightly because it took a bit longer than expected. But the boss is taken after all. So now the red team will have to defend against the boss, and the blue team is going to defend against the Web Weavers. And in this case also against the camp in the middle of the map, which has already been targeted again. 39 stacks for Stitches, one more globe, and he has the 15% movement speed in total. Level 20 talents already. That gives us Pack Instinct. Medivh is cheating again. No one can stop a death. And Titanic Might here for Garrosh. Alright. As the red team is getting ready for their own Storm talents, the defense is nearly done with. It's only the top lane that is still remaining. Dino is hiding behind the wall for good reason. If that hook connects, and he's toast. Ancestral gets upgraded. We got gas back. And yeah, it's gonna be fun now. It's actually interesting because we're 18 minutes in and there's still a fort standing. So we've had quite a lot of objectives, but they never really did as much damage as you would normally expect on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So currently we're 18 minutes into the game. We still have 47 gems for the blue team. Not enough to get them a turn-in, but certainly enough to make the opponent worried a little bit about one. The damage output is also not that insane. So we saw some kills, 6 in total, but not really these big massive fights, with 26,000 damage being the top damage in the game itself. Leyline. Yeah, that fort will fall, but they might be able to get some kills. The kick! Instantly creating some space here. And jumping back out. War Master Chen is definitely the best, but the skin that he's using here, I mean, this is a bit of a sad affair. Sad Earth, come on, my friend. The white and black one, by far the best. This one, doesn't really do anything for me, nor anybody else. Maybe it's the one that you can hide the best on the map. You basically, I mean, honestly, you look like a garbage man. That's all that it is. You got a little bit dirty and you're trying to take the trash out. That's all that happens there. War Master Chen, black and white, you know, that's the real one. Looking like a proper samurai. Not like this one. Maybe give him a bit of a wood style approach, Naruto style, but yeah. Either way, with the fort in the middle now getting attacked again, they're still holding on to it. Each team, by the way, does. Now we have enough gems for the blue team to get themselves another turn-in, so if they deliver the gems that they're holding, they can pull that off. 5 stacks missing for Medivh to complete his quest. It's one of the slowest quests that I've seen in a while, by the way. Always assuming that he actually does complete. Which I guess is still not guaranteed. Whoopi with 42 gems was trying to turn in. Couldn't. But they are baiting. Oh, they're actually going for the ult too. And ooh, the save. Bit of a gamble actually to throw out the last rights in that situation. But they nearly killed him. They nearly took Chen down. But again, the important part is they didn't. So here comes the ley line again. And Chen, as usual, is jumping in feet first. Time and time again. Fat Illidan is where it hurts the most. Now, red team still looking to get some damage. They should be able to take that fort out with ease. A couple of that 2 hits from Lunara and that's it. There's the Gorge, and now Medivh immediately has to try and counterplay this. But look, he gets pressured instantly. Insta pressure against him. Breeze survives this time. Gets the shield, but the Riptire, he might still fall. They're getting pushed into a corner. Another hook, but this one misses. But the pressure is there. Masquerade and his boys, they are pressuring this as best as possible. Yeah, at the top, Keep is actually taking damage because the catapult was there. So they missed out on that a bit. It's 21 minutes into the game already, so the catapults are obviously starting to hurt. 58 gems in their hands. And the blue team is not the only one that is threatening another objective. Team Copium doesn't have the stacks yet, or the gems yet that they need, but they are getting dangerously close now. So the Bounty Hunters should try and complete this one. Yep. Zagara... Medivh, by the way, on 38 now. One hit at a time, baby. One hit at a time. Here's the turn-in attempt again. Sadath is... Oh, interrupted. Interrupted by Garrosh. Nice. Maybe now the moment to make the big play of the game. The fort in the middle, that's just a formality. That one's gonna fall, 100%. But how much more can they do now? So, when it comes to also Stitches, 50 stacks nearly on his level 1, he's getting chunky. Stitches is definitely getting chunky. Down at the bottom of the map, they're dealing with the web weavers already. In the middle, one gets destroyed quickly. But how much more? At this point, I mean, again, the only thing that you really want to do right now is you want to take keeps. If you can't even do that, then what are you even doing? You need to get value out of the web weavers. We're 22 minutes into the game. This needs to hurt. If you're not getting anything out of this, then your opponent is definitely going to punish you. So they're hoping to push through the top lane. But the blue team is not really willing to fight on this. They're a bit worried about these hooks, I guess, and that they keep coming in. So at this point in time, they're simply falling back a bit and allow that to happen. They have map control now, but that's not going to be enough. 23 minutes in. They got a little bit more control over the map through this, and that's essentially it. So Stitches is now at 52 stacks, which again is a lot. So his hit points are starting to absolutely explode here. It's starting to get crazy. Yeah. It's at 1,750 now. Alright. Sorry, no, he's not, like a bit lower than that. We have him currently at, what's 1,250. So, still decent hit points, obviously. Oh, and what a hook! Long distance against Zagara. Quest completed for Medivh finally. Yeah, time to feed. But Dino... Dino's dead. Dino is dead. The gems lost. Dino goes down. That's the chance for Team Copium. Here's the opportunity to get the boss, get the turn in, get more kills. Yeah, they're going for it. They're trying to go for Breeze. And he doesn't make it to the portal. Medivh sets it up, but that is the end of Garrosh. And now they can go for the boss right away. Finally a double kill for Team Copium to break the spell. Not enough gems on the side of their opponents to get a turn in and go for a trade on the boss defense. Instead, it is the chance that the red team has been waiting for the entire time. We have Wooby pushing the bottom of the map, hoping to force a response. Not sure if that's going to work for them. Nano is delivering the final gems that they need for the turn-in. And the rest of the red team is already pushing out that mid lane even further. Here's the opportunity to potentially get that game locked in and get the W before moving into game number 4. Here's the chance right there. Another 16 seconds until Garrosh is back. Zagara is about... Well, she's back to business. Again, fully Nidus spec. And they are going for the topside keep, and they will burn through this one with ease. No chance for it. Web Weavers are now here too, so it's time for the core. And given how late in the game we are, everything is just scaling to make this a thing. To make this end the game. Dino is getting attacked again. Zagara, mega low, barely getting away here. And Dino is about to die. Dino is gone. This looks like game. This definitely looks like it's going to be the end of the road on Tomb of the Spider Queen for the blue team. They won't be able to come back from this. Team Copium takes the lead in this best of 5 series in the winner bracket final as they defeat the Bounty Hunters on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG. Here we go, Aldrich Pass. Ladies and gentlemen, it is match point. Team Copium has an opportunity here to send the bounty hunters packing, to send them into the loser's bracket. So, yep, here's the chance with the red team winning Aldrich Pass. Or we're going to another 5-mapper, which could of course also happen. Samuro is continuously being banned out, and honestly, if you ban Samuro on any map, then Aldrich Pass is definitely very high up on the list. So, yeah, he gets taken away there. This map number 4, 30 heroes have now been played and cannot be played again. So, kind of reducing the hero pool a little bit. Plenty still to go for, but could be an interesting one regardless. Now, Sergeant Hammer's ban. We've already seen that on the previous map. What was it actually? No, I think it was the map before, right? Infernal Shrines Beta Hammer ban, yeah, exactly. But very curious now. With Aldrich, I mean, oftentimes again we're talking oftentimes about Anubarak, we're talking about Samuro. There's a lot of characters, a lot of heroes that can easily try and cheese the objective and lock that in. But most of them have already been claimed. You could technically do it with Gazlo, for example, but I highly doubt that we're going to get a Gazlo pick here. Also, as a side note, Bounty Hunters obviously not able to win with a bounty. They completed 2 bounties in the group stage. They completed the Kel'Thas Convection bounty and they completed the Valera bounty. But that was now the first time that they tried the Zagara Nidus bounty and it failed them. It was close though. They were for long stretches in the driver's seat. But that last hook that we got for Masquerade was just too much for them to handle. And here, by the way, I talked about this earlier. Now we have first pick, first ban again for the Bounty Hunters. And instead of banning out Johanna, this time they just lock her in immediately as a first pick for themselves. So they denied Johanna time and time again to Masquerade. And now they pick it for themselves as their first pick again. Solid strat. Great support here, obviously. And we'll see how Masquerade is now reacting to this. First of all, we're getting Uther and we get Greymane. Okay. So... yeah, we can go for some bullet players around this. Greymane also locking in the camp on the side. And, of course, the boss. Whenever I need to go for that. I also like that Maiev is just continuously being banned. Rutsu is an amazing Maiev player. So they don't want him to go for that. Li Ming and Deckard Cain. Now, just as a side note, it seems like Hazob's playing Deckard Cain again. Keep in mind that what we actually saw in the winner bracket semifinal, where the Bounty Hunters were playing, they were 0-2, and it all started to turn when they played on, I believe it was 2 Towers of Doom, and Hazu played Deckard Cain. So if everything else fails, put the old guy on Deckard Cain, and well, all of a sudden when he plays the support role, you're gonna start your comeback right then and there. So this is the opportunity to pull that off once more and force another 5-mapper. But as it stands right now, we have Sonya banned out, and well, what is the blue team getting rid of? They get rid of Abathur. Yeah, not a bad choice, honestly, now that I think about it, yeah. Again, the threat is always, you see Greymane on the other side, and there are a couple of bounties around Abathur, but even if you don't go for a bounty and go for a full symbiote build, Greymane would really benefit from this. You have the copy, so yeah. Instead, we're now getting Zeratul, and we get Tyrael. They are aggressive with this. They definitely are. So, Greymane and Zeratul, we've seen a couple of those comps in the previous games when we had, like, Genji, Zeratul, or whatever. So, Zeratul as a bit of a side laner, he can have a huge impact. If he gets played well, you have so much damage potential in a short burst time if you coordinate with the team properly. So, yeah, there's a lot that they can pull off here. Also, will be interesting to see what ult Tyrael goes for. Now we get Imperius, and we get Hogger. Alright, party time. And then on the right side, obviously, Nano for the red team. Final pick in game number 4. This is our first match point in this winner bracket final. And Nano is oftentimes the X-Factor pick for the team. What is it going to be this time? On Aldrich Pass, we're getting... Oh, Probius! No way! They're actually going for a bounty here. Alright, first bounty for the Frenchies, everybody. Aldrich Pass, game number 4. Bounty time, apparently. So, we are looking at a Probius pick. I did not think that would happen, I gotta admit. So, game number 4, and now we're getting some Probius action over on the right side. Well, first of all, on the left in blue, we got Whoopi on Hogger. We got Rutsu on Imperius, Dino on Liming, Hazops is playing Deckard Kane, and Breeze on Johanna. As over on the right side of the map, it is Team Copium with Banana H on Uther. We got Sadath on Zeratul, Lopaka on Greymane. Probius gets played by Nano. And we get Masquerade with Tyrael moving us straight into Ardent Restoration and potentially also a Judgment pick. If you go Judgment here and then Greymane follows up with damage and you have Zeratul also moving in on the target, you can blow some heroes up fairly quickly if you do that well. So time will tell how they're going to play this one out, but could be a good one. It's actually really interesting what we're seeing from the red team here. And Nano and Probius, that's obviously a bit of a hoot. I wonder if they would have done that without the bounties or not, because they have really not been going for bounties at all. It didn't really matter how much of a favorite they were in the series. They just ignored bounties altogether. But we have seen Nano play Probius in the past. Either way, it is a bounty attempt. The second one of this series. So first we had Zagara with the Nidus Network on the previous map, which obviously did not work out for the blue team. But now the chance to lock their first bounty point in for Team Copium. Not they're going to get half a point here. But, well, we got Shadowhunter in, and of course with the Ardent Restoration, a couple of stacks now too. Very aggressive lineup. Down at the bottom of the map, Imperius and Lopaka. Yeah, they're jumping in here pretty quickly and starting to push through the middle of the map. This camp is taken a bit late, so they have a shot of escorting that in and trying to do some damage on the wall itself. But the red team isn't really able to push it too far. Blue team was immediately on point with the defense and just set that up. Bit of damage on the tower at least, so yeah, that one is a bit low, but that's about it. So they got some damage through, but not enough. Probius, on the other hand, with some very nice action down at the bottom of the map, and now able to take another one of those towers essentially out. Wave clear obviously is quite solid there. Level 4, we get the charge blast again, and Probius going straight into the photon barrier. Zeratul straight up against Liming. So Sadath against Dino. Yeah, gotta be careful there. We have the first objective soon up as well. It's gonna be announced in a moment. Highly unlikely that the teams are making immediate plays for it. Usually at the earliest around level 7 that the teams are looking at the prisoner camp. Sometimes it takes until level 10 until we see movement there. But Probius is still pushing this, and this is something that Hogger has a tough time dealing with. So, yeah, needs to be super careful on this. Because right now, I mean, we got more and more damage on that wall. Imperius was trying to also slow this down. Nano, careful, but is able to escape into tower range, and therefore still totally fine here. So, most of the structures that have been damaged so far have been on the side of the blue team. We're now looking up at the next camp. Hogger is doing the same thing over on the left side. And obviously, yeah, there's the aggression against Deckard Kane, but he gets out. It's oftentimes a little bit deceptive, but that old geezer is honestly pretty quick on his feet. He's always just waddling around a bit, and he looks slow. Full tortoise style, but he's fine. He got out. Not a single kill in the game yet. There's level 7. A bit of a lead even on the objective for Team Copium. Here comes the Purge Evil. They're also trying to go for Dino, who still has the cooldown on his teleportation and gets away. Quick stun against Whoopi, but he's still holding on to this as best as he can. But obviously, what I said earlier is still applying. He's losing that lane. Probius just has too much push power. That's why they're continuously trying to flank in against Nano. but they haven't been able to do too much yet. Breeze also on Jojo, so they might actually go for an interrupt here, but he just wants to grab some mana before he heads back into this. Get ready for the next potential fight. We have Zeratul all the way up at the top. Greymane is also rotating over, and he's not the only one. They're sending Banana H halfway there too. With everybody else for the blue team being down at the bottom of the map, they have actually a chance of getting some wall pressure going. Rutsu is the one that rotates. Imperius gets the stun in, but not enough damage. And with the camp being ready again, Greymane is instantly on it. Same is also true for Hogger. This is just generally a thing when you're playing on Alderac Pass. Whenever you play, you should take this camp as often as you can. It's a really powerful camp, and is also the only one outside of the 2 boss camps on Alderac Pass. So missing out on it is definitely a mistake. And you can clearly see how diligent they are about that rotation. And I think we might have our first kill in the game. Rutsu is low, and Rutsu is dead. Yep, did not see that double flank coming. They ganked up with 3 on him. And Uther, with his stun, just put the final nail in the coffin there. We have, by the way, not Wizened Duelist for Greymane, but Greymane went on level 7 into the Incinerate Elixir. So, yeah, that was a little bit unexpected, I'd say. And now we have Might of the Nerazim, of course. We got the Pylon Overcharge for Probius. And I'm still waiting for the Judgment pick for Masquerade because I just don't see Sanctification come. Well, he could go Sanctification. With the build, it's usually Judgment, and yes, he picks it. But I suppose with Greymane, Zeratul, they could have just decided to go Sanctification regardless. But it is Judgment, so the Masquerade is going to judge people. You are not French enough. Attack! So yeah, something like that. We get the Shockwave. Wrath of the Ingirius and also the Wave of Force here. But only 1 kill in the game so far. And they are still looking at the objective. And this time it's actually Breeze to go for the channel. So it's not only the red team that is making some plays here. Nope. We are getting some serious attempts of the Bounty Hunters to get the first cavalry. Blessed Shield missing. Dodged out on. Judgment on the other hand, absolutely on point. Can they get the kill? Nice heals. Dino is alive and gets away. Masquerade was close to falling as well, so they retreated. But that was a nice initial attack. If not for that quick heal from Deckard Cain, this would have been the end of Li Ming. And another kill for Team Copium. They negated the objective for now. But Banana H, just be careful here too. Moving in with Zeratul. Still only 1 single kill in the game. Only 1 kill, but Greymane is now down at the bottom of the map and is absolutely ripping that fort apart. They are also pushing for the objective, or they at least did for a second, but that fort's gone, so that is one of the major structures already out, and a nice little win for Team Copium. The Bounty Hunters falling slightly behind, not only in experience, even though that gap is not too big of a deal yet, but structurally, that definitely plays a big role. You have nice push power on Probius, and then whenever Greymane gets on structures, he can of course just continue that trend. So over here, the attempt at a channel, Masquerade interrupts, and well, nearly died for it. Divine Shield was needed to save him there. Stay a while and get wrecked. They try to go for Deckard Cain. Bullet connects also with Imperius. Yep, and they're starting to fall back up again. That Divine Shield was, by the way, clutch. I mean, I honestly thought initially that he just jumps in, interrupts, and then tries to head back out. But far from it. So they nearly get a kill on Tyrael. Now the next attack is coming, and they really want that objective. Zeratul is using the opportunity at the top to push this out further, and they destroyed the wall here too. But it seems that this time they're actually going to let that objective go. That they're not even making an attempt to properly play against it. They have a level 13 talent advantage, but they are just accepting that objective. Zeratul has done more damage at the top. Hogga is now there. Wooby should be fine on this, but it's some extra damage on the fort. They take their camp too. Still, we are seeing the cavalry coming in. Cavalry for the Bounty Hunters now, and maybe a chance to also take some structures out. Because up to now, it was only a fort on the blue team side that has fallen. That was the only one here. Now, 17 stacks for the Ardent Restoration. Obviously still working on that, trying to get the extra heal that you get through that. Extra sustain. Yeah. Cavalry in the middle is actually suffering quite a lot. What's Nano's damage like? Oh, but Zeratul at the top gets killed. Yeah, that hurts. That's a fort. That's a fort right there. Probius is top damage on the red team with 17,000. But yep, that definitely hurt them. So they gave up the objective. Now they lose Probius as well. Yeah, that easy. You lose the objective, they lose the Zeratul at the top, they lose the fort, then they lose Probius in the middle, and they are likely going to lose another fort here. Even if they somehow save this one, it's already mega low. That's tough. That was well played by the Bounty Hunters, and maybe a bit of a misstep by Team Copium to not play for the objective. They had even a talent advantage for a short period of time, and just didn't really do anything about it. So the fort in the mid lane, for now, is still in play. But despite the lead in XP that we have for Team Copium, that did backfire a bit. Now they're trying to go for the boss, like that. Can that be sniffed out? I mean, they are probably already expecting that something like this happens. But since they are a bit slow to react, that boss will be taken. Yep, they're getting this one for free. Well, not free, because the fort in the mid lane gets destroyed. So, boss is taken. And now it's just a question of what exactly are you going to do with it, because the fort at the bottom of the map is already eliminated. So either you push with it and you try to go for the keep, or you just simply go for the second boss at the top lane, defend the middle. Gotta get something out of that. I mean, the 16 would also help, and they're already rotating towards the top. Dodge out on vision and will go for the second boss from the looks of it. But the defense has been abandoned at the bottom, and they're not going for it. The prisoner camp is now coming up, and they just realized, okay, if the opponent actually commits to a potential attack at the top, might not really work out in our favor. So they weren't sure where everybody was on the map, and as I say that, Greymane just moves topside and says, okay, we're going to take this. They see the rotation at the bottom, and they're realizing they're going to be too late to defend this. So now it's going to be another fort that gets destroyed by the Bounty Hunters. And as a result, the second boss will be claimed by Team Copium. And this is going to allow the red team to destroy the topside fort. And they're getting the lead with Masquerade on the objective. So they're going to get the lead on this. The fort is going to get destroyed for free. But at this point in time, the blue team is clearly in the lead on structures. They've destroyed every single fort. So that's a solid advantage on the objective at least. Boss is taking the topside fort as it should. And now they need to try and retake this one. And well, there it is. Quick kill against Masquerade, no problem. Tyrael is immediately destroyed and they reclaim control over the prisoner camp. So yeah, the last few minutes have not been going too well for Team Copium. It is the Bounty Hunters that are currently making the moves. And I don't think that Copium is going to be too happy about it. This game did start off pretty alright. Now it's 3 kills to 1 in favor of the blue team. Can they maybe get a kill here? And the answer is yes, but they also lose Uther. They take down Li Ming. That was a big one. That's still the main damage dealer for them. But they also lose their own healer, which I think is still a fair trade for them. Then, more importantly, they made sure that the objective was not claimed by the blue team. I mean, not even close. It didn't even start. Probius set this up early on. And they still should probably deal with it and not only take their camp on the right side. But, yeah, the channel has now started. Greymane is moving back in too. We got Li Ming back in 8 seconds. The same is true for Uther pretty much. Judgment, bullet, and Imperius is trying to save it. And could, but yeah, he dies. He did well initially, but then he still goes down. I don't really understand what the Bounty Hunters were trying to do here. Getting the initial channel, okay, fair enough. You're going for the objective, you see an opportunity, your opponent is on the camp, and you're getting a couple of seconds. Fine, golden. Committing and then all of a sudden losing heroes that way, that hurts a bit, because now they just stagger to death on their side, and it means that the red team can play for the fort in the middle, and they're also playing for the objective. Hogger gets killed, so that's another one that goes down. Hogger gets eliminated by Zeratul. And now there is again a staggered death. Another one. Li Ming, they want Greymane. Divine... Okay, no Divine Shield, fair enough. Banana Age actually just said, well, I don't care. You're gonna die. They could have saved Greymane and they didn't. I honestly don't understand why they didn't get the cooldown out here. They're now going for Li Ming and they take her down. That obviously negates all of this. Then we have another Judgment and he gets met by another Blessed Shield. I don't know what's happening right now. There's so many plays where I'm just like, why was that needed? They try the counter kill on Breeze, are not able to properly pull that off. But I don't think that Greymane needed to die. I don't think that Tyrael needed to die. So there's all of a sudden a lot of death happening on the map where I'm just like looking at it and thinking like, okay. Tyrael jumping in with Judgment in that situation was a little bit too much. Why not wait for the objective and play around it? They have now level 20. But what are they getting from the objective itself? Damage at the keep at the top, I suppose. And down at the bottom of the map, they're pressuring too. I guess the wall is going to be opened here. But now we got Redemption, we got Shadow Strike. So, yeah, they gotta play around this as much as they can. With now the constructed additional pylons in. We have level 20 on both sides now. And it's a little bit weird. Trying to go for the boss at the bot lane again, but that might not be the best idea that they had today. Because it seems like the blue team essentially has the same idea. Tyrael has not taken a 20 yet. They go for the boss, they really want it. Greymane is now on his way. And are they committing to this? Are they trying here? Greymane is nearly there, but the boss is also nearly taken. And they're gonna grab it. Yep, this is a freebie. Boss is taken, 6 kills to 5. The bounty hunters have taken some damage, but now they're looking okay here. Oh, Gillian Roulette. I like that one a lot. It's always a lot of fun when you have a prolonged fight and Greymane is just shooting out bullet after bullet. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty cool one. So, that's pretty nice. I'm fairly curious to see how much he gets out of it. I've seen this talent, I think, twice. And it was always a blast. So, upgrade for the heroic ability on Tyrael's side now, too. Damage output, we got Probius on 32,000. Greymane at 24k, but still 30,000 for Zeratul. And there's the second boss about to be claimed up at the top. Li Ming, she is the top damage dealer again. 33k for her. And while they go for the boss, they go for the keep. I like that move. Yep. Breeze is moving back. They take the boss at the top. But this is a free keep that they just got as a result. Maybe they can't quite take it. Tyrael wants it. And Masquerade, again, be careful. So, Blessed Shield actually missed. Shockwave gets dodged. Nice. Uther, on the other hand, he might be in trouble. Uther might be in trouble now. It's Hogger that falls first, killed by Zeratul and the rest of the team. But Banana Age is gone. He has Redemption, though. Yeah, they gotta be... Okay, they gotta make sure that he is still ready for this. Masquerade gets healed, but Hogger is still down for another 45 seconds. Yeah, top side, by the way, this is gonna be a keep, isn't it? They're not even trying to defend. Okay, and now Zeratul is dead. So many random deaths here where somebody moves out a little bit too much, gets locked into a stun, the CC gets chained. Here comes again Tyrael as he jumps in deep. Maybe a bit too deep. It's a 4 versus 4 now. And a 5 versus 4 for a little bit, but Masquerade is now moving back out. The bullets, they're hitting. Greymane with lots of damage here. But the keep in the middle is still standing, and the keep at the top has now been destroyed. Now the core is taking some damage, but it will obviously regenerate that. Then again, here in the middle. Yeah. Another objective for the blue team would most likely... I mean, it could end the game, honestly. Probius is gone! Probius is gone. This is a bit disastrous. This should be a free objective now for the bounty hunters. Too many heroes that just randomly die, and they can't afford that. That's the problem. And what that now leads to is, again, a numbers advantage for the bounty hunters. They're gonna get the objective, or at least they should. And with Tyrael now getting destroyed and Masquerade just committing Sudoku here, That's definitely the case. So, yeah, the objective is a given. This one is 100% going to be taken by the bounty hunters. And I think this might actually lead us to another destroyed keep and potentially the game ending. We're basically 20 minutes into the game now. So, yeah. 33 stacks for Tyrael. He will be back for the defense. But defending against this and then recovering from it is, I think, nearly impossible. So I am not so sure if they have a chance of pulling that off. Especially since we now already have the mid lane attacked. Again, 20 minutes in, the objective is going to hit. They're going to lose keeps. One armor shield is already removed. The second one will follow. So this will be tough. Greyman is now at 35,000 damage. The bullets that he's throwing out there and the cocktails, they are hurting. He is starting to get closer and closer to be top damage in on his team, not in the game. But yeah, he's definitely getting value out of his ult, for sure. So right now, that keep is about to be gone. Zeratul was at the top, pushed that out and is now coming back. But I still think that this is going to be insanely difficult for Team Copium to recover from. Even if they defend here. It's just too much. They need kills, they need them quickly if they want to have any chance of bringing this one back. I mean, if they go for some kind of team wipe, then they can go through the middle, of course. Destroy the keep in the middle, the few hit points that are left. And then, yeah, win the game. But they're now pinned down into their base. They have lost every single keep. That's actually not true. The keep at the bot lane is still standing. What am I talking about? It's late for me too. It's midnight. So, yep. If they want to have a chance, yeah, they need to force something. It's the only way. By now, minion waves can essentially start to threaten the core. So you need to force something for sure. Look at, by the way, Greyman. He's now top damage on the red team, and he's really catching up. His poke damage with his ult and then also the cocktail, it's something. He's getting there. But now it's all about the boss at the bottom of the map, apparently. Or at least they're threatening this a bit. Blue team is not willing to go for that. For a second it looked like they just might be, but no. What about their opponents, though? We got a camp about to be taken over here on the left, and I think they're gonna let that boss go. Yeah, that boss is gonna be taken for free. Imperius is... where are they going with this? Boss is gonna be taken 22 minutes in for free. Free boss, and here comes the blue team now. So, are they gonna show at some point? Winter's already moving back out. They see Deckard Cain, and the pings are instantly there. Judgment. Masquerade has a death wish. Seriously. Divine Shield is out, but some of these judgments are like, dude, you're jumping over this entire thing straight into 4. I give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't actually see a lot there, but forcing that, maybe a bit much. And now with that ult on cooldown for just a short period, to be fair, they go for the objective again. And the boss is going to take down the keep at the bottom of the map. And if they destroyed that keep earlier in the middle, that boss would actually seriously threaten the core. So right now, it's objective time again. And Masquerade gets hit and is able to get away. But the objective is slowly being claimed here. They cannot afford to lose this one. 17 seconds. They need to make a move here. Bottom keep has now fallen on the side of the bounty hunters. They go for Li Ming again. Blessed Shield misses. So does Deckard Cain's ult. Lots of cooldowns burned all of a sudden. Lots of cooldowns that don't do anything for them. They get control again. Li Ming is low, but she's still alive. Can they get kills here? Boss is now being defeated by the core on the blue team side. That's the good news. This is getting interesting. Copium should not be able to win this game anymore, if you ask me. But this is still getting interesting. This is so... I mean, again, if they take this out, if at any point they have a chance to go for the game, they can make a play here. And now they're trying to go for the boss at the top lane again. If they get that boss, Tyrael is even going for the objective, so they're trying to claim that. If they get the boss at the top, that topside keep will fall. And then if they just nibble at the fort, the keep in the middle, that means that there's not a single armor shield anymore, and the core would fall. So, boss is now taken. The first thing that they have to do is make sure that nobody is getting the objective here. But there's the opportunity right now. Time is now all of a sudden in favor of Team Copium. I have no idea what's going on in this game anymore. It's absolutely bonkers. If the red team is smart, they're playing this slow now. They prevent the objective from being taken, and they're moving back towards the blue base together with the blue team retreating. Because again, this is keep. The boss takes the keep, and then that's the second armor shield removed. Then they're even in structures again. This is a wild one. It's late. The teams have been playing for a long time. Everybody makes mistakes at this point. Concentration is starting to lag. They're hearthing slowly. Bullet in the wrong one for a moment. But they can technically now try and go for that core. Look at the core. The core is already insanely low. The core is low. And they are playing around this, but the fight is already being started here. Breeze gets attacked again. And now they go for the objective. 30 seconds. If they can somehow make the 30 seconds, this one will be stopped by the core, obviously. And they have a chance of pulling this one off now. 24 seconds. 20 seconds. Blue team. Can they take it? They're trying to steal it. They have 5 seconds left, and they know it. They're trying to steal it on the left. They don't have to stop their own. They just have to start this one. And they do! They do! Dino is starting it. They're claiming it. They get the objective. They're gonna get it. They're gonna beat it by 6 seconds. They just snuck in and they took the objective here. They could technically try and go for the core maybe. The red team, I mean, honestly, I don't know at this point what they can do. They can't just simply cross the map and go for it because they have to defend their own. They need a win and they need some kills quickly. They go for Li Ming and she's dead. Li Ming is dead, but they need more than that. That's not gonna be enough. Banana Age is low, but he still has redemption. They come in with a stun. They move in for Breeze. Breeze is a bit low, but it's 4 heroes that are still there. Here comes the cavalry. Now the cavalry comes in. Can they defeat it now that Li Ming is gone? 10 kills to 7 in total. Oh boy, that is rough. That keep is going to be lost. The only question is, do you still hold on to the game? That's the only question here. Cavalry in the middle is going to fall. That one will be destroyed. And the one at the bottom of the map, oh my god, that has an insane amount of travel time still. They're gonna hold on to the game for now. What a game. 27 minutes in, and it is getting a bit crazy. Greymane, 69,000 damage. Nice. He's top damage. Top damage in the game now. He was trailing massively. He wasn't even top damage on his own team. And now, since he went for the level 20 upgrade on his bullet, he's been absolutely crushing it here. So, yeah. What's the boss timer? That's the big question, at least now, I guess. Well, it's back up. The boss is back up. Topside boss will be back up in a minute and a half. And down here, the boss is already back up on the map. Nobody can allow the other team to take the boss. Yeah. So there we are already. Li Ming is back. Dino is sitting in the back there, sitting tight. They're starting to build up around it. This is an insane game. 28 minutes into it. So, we got Rutsu right here. Uther. Are they gonna go for Li Ming again? Zeratul. Zeratul stopping the mid lane a bit. Here comes the engage. And again, these bullets from Greymane. Bullet after bullet that comes out. Zeratul is just defending against the camp that was taken in the middle. But they need Zerath. They need him. The commitment at the boss is now slowly being made. Whoopi is a bit low though. Whoopi, they gotta be careful here. If he takes too much damage and then gets attacked by Tyrael and there's a follow-up, that would be the nightmare. So I think that mid lane pressure is still fine. Boss should be able to deal with it. It's all about the team fight right now. Or about the boss, whoever takes it. They're starting to shift around on this. They want it now. They have set up with Probius. So yeah, Probius sets this up slowly for them. Blue team, careful. Bullet out again. Probius playing around as well. Yeah, and the core is defending against the minions that are pushing. It's centering around the bottom of the map now. Top lane boss is soon going to be ready too. Next objective will be at the bottom of the map. But, yep, this is one mistake and it's over. You make one mistake right now, and the game is just over. So 10 kills, 2-7, and the big chance to make a move here. Breeze eats the bullet again, time and time again, as Zeratul is trying to go for it, and so does Greymane. They can't let this one slide. They are forcing the fight here. Greymane with another bullet potentially. It's at 50%. It's gonna come down to this one. Here comes the conclusion. This is the big one. Boss is low. They go in for the stun. Imperious getting attacked. Zeratul jumping in. Masquerade. Judgment on Li Ming. Gets immediately hit by Deckard Cain. Dino is insanely low, but somehow still alive. They go for the boss. They're fully committed to it right now. They need this, and they need this quickly. The stuns are coming. The boss is taken. Copium takes the boss. This is likely gonna end the game. They don't have to force it now. They have time. They don't have to force it immediately. Tyrell's Judgment again in just another moment. They can go for Rutsu. They can go for Breeze. They have so many targets at this point. This has to be a Tyrell. Does he get his ult out? He kinda needs to. If Masquerade dies right now, I'm serious. Does he not have enough mana? And he falls! What the fuck? He might not have had enough mana to get the ult out. I'm not 100% certain, but they take down Hogger in the same process. Li Ming is gone, and I think the Frenchies just pulled it off. But Zeratul dies as well. Boss is on the core, and Nano takes out the catapult finally, which means no armor shield left. They can go in with Greymane. They don't have a Divine Shield, but this should be enough. The core gets attacked, and ladies and gentlemen, Team Copium is about to move on to the grand final of the tournament. The Bounty Hunters get dropped down into the losers bracket. What a finish. GG.